Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series, we're working on Unit 20, Being Innovative, and we're finishing our unit. In the first part of our unit, let me go to my introduction here. In my first part of my unit, we've worked on talking about ideas and innovation. And then we moved on to key language for presenting new ideas, products, or services, and we did a few presentations. These were formal presentations, by the way. So in this next section, we're going to work on practical speaking skills, talking about the ability to do something. So when you present a new product or service, you're able to show what you're able to do now, what the innovation is all about. Well, we'll go over this more in just a minute. First, a little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words you're learning when you are speaking so I can correct you and give you feedback. And last, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And let me get the presentation on screen, and let me say hello to Daniel. Hello, Daniel. How are you?
Hello, teacher. Long time ago.
Long time no see, Daniel.
Yes.
Let me see if I remember. You're somewhere in Spain. I can't remember where.
I maybe near from you. I'm in Salamanca.
Ah, Salamanca. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, not so far.
Near border Portugal.
Right. And the last time I saw you, you were in the Learning Through Pictures class.
Yes.
We had yeah, I remember now. Okay, very good. So, here's what we're going to do, Daniel. Hopefully we'll get some more people joining us. Normally, I teach this class in the mornings, and I have a series of classes. So every single day at 11 GMT, 11 Portugal time, we do another class in a series. So this unit is all about new ideas. This is the business English class that I teach, by the way, all about presenting new ideas. So what we're going to do, even if you weren't in the other classes, we're going to jump right into the end of the unit, because these classes are conversation classes. You can come and go as you like. All right, and I'll try to help you catch up with some things that you might have missed. So we're going to take a look at, this is the third part of the unit, 3rd out of 4 parts. We've been talking about ideas and innovations, presenting an idea or a product or a service, how to do a formal presentation. And today we're going to work on the 3rd part, practically speaking, how to thank and respond to an audience after you've given a presentation. Okay, and then if we have time, we'll start on the last part. If not, we'll do it tomorrow, which is talking about ability in the present and in the future, talking about how your presentation will enable people or a company to do something new. Okay? Is that more or less clear so far?
Yes, it's clear, but I have troubles in Spanish to speak to an audience.
Yeah. Everyone does. It's normal. But if we give you a structure, you can use it in Spanish or English. The structure is, how to do the opening, how to respond. So we got to look at it like that, so that you're not focusing on yourself. You don't want to focus on yourself. You want to focus on the structure of the presentation. Okay. Let me say a quick hello to Anna and to Selma. Hello, Anna. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. Thank you. And you?
Very good. And where are you from, Anna?
I'm from Spain.
From Spain. From Salamanca too?
No, I live in Andalusia, in Jaén.
In Andalusia. Okay. I thought maybe this was the hour from people from Salamanca, but it's just Daniel. So we've got Anna from Andalusia, Daniel, and Selma. I think I know you. It's been a while, though. Hello, Selma.
Hello, teacher.
You're from somewhere in Algeria or Tunisia or someplace like that, right?
Actually, Algeria.
Algeria, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yes, I've been busy with my exams and with summer, so
The,
I was
the,
lazy lately.
oh,
I've
don't be
not been
lazy.
joining.
Oh, no. The last time I saw you was a long time ago, like a year ago, right? Or something like that. Am I right?
Yes, I guess. Yeah, you're
Ah,
right.
okay. But I remember you. I remember Selma. I remember the name. You have a different picture now. You have a different
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on, we'll try to give you a chance to work on some business English. Maybe we'll review how to do a presentation. But we're more focused on how to respond after you've done a presentation. So let me ask the three of you. Have you ever done a business presentation? Have you ever done a presentation in English or in your own language?
I'm not.
Never? Not in Spanish
Never.
either?
No.
Wow.
When I present my final project in my degree,
Right.
is the only time
We
I
call
speak
that
in public.
we call that the viva voce.
Yeah.
When your defense.
Yes, my defense.
Okay, but that's an especially difficult one. If you're going to do public speaking, that's one of the hardest things you can do because you're very nervous.
Only 15 or 20 minutes. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Speaking
but everyone.
very quickly.
But everyone, let me get my name on the board here. Oops. Well, you can't see my face very well. My light is not working. And this should be hidden. You don't want to see my clothes. But after you do your viva voce for 20 minutes, you have to defend it. You have a panel of people asking you questions for an hour, right?
Yes. Then four teacher asks me a question about the project.
Right.
And then we were about an hour or more. Can't remember.
So what do you think the difference would be, Daniel? And this is for all of you, actually. What would be the difference between that kind of presentation and a business presentation? Can you think of some differences?
Yeah, well, maybe the important thing is the subject about you're talking about.
Yeah, so the content is going to be different.
Yes. In my case, a project about road constructions.
Road construction?
Yes.
And
it's not interesting for people, but
well, you don't know that. Maybe it is.
maybe.
Selma, do you think road construction is interesting? I do.
Okay.
Interesting when they make a loud voice, a huge voice. They
That's what.
interesting.
Oh,
you call the police.
If you speak loudly, that makes it interesting. Is that the idea? That's a good theory. Maybe that's the secret of public speaking. Just talk really loud. Could be. I'll try it right now. I'll speak loud. Anna, what about you? Have you ever done a business presentation or even a defense like Daniel?
Well, although my field is not about business, but yes, I did some presentations, but not in business, related to health.
Related to health. So, what was the goal of your presentation? Were you trying to inform people? Were you trying to persuade them? What was your objective?
Well, many of them were for presenting the information to people, yes, about healthy
Health issues?
lifestyles,
Lifestyle. Okay.
or about the care of different illnesses, things like that. Also with colleagues, I did some presentation about a review about some subject, some illness or thing like that.
And what language were these presentations in? Spanish?
Yes, yes. I don't have enough level of English for speaking English, and anyway, I have the opportunity to a scenario where I have to speak in English these subjects.
And guess what, Anna? Today you have that opportunity.
I promise.
Today you will. Well, let's take a look at a presentation right now. I'm going to share the presentation, my presentation with you on screen. You should be able to see it. And we're going to start here, thanking and responding. Imagine the presentation has just finished. So you're going to start by listening to 6 short conversations at work. Oh, you know, this is related to presentations, but they're also making it a little more general. So it's not just presentations, but that was the last thing that we did. So this is just more generally at work. Listen to 6 short conversations at work and tell me what has happened in each situation. You're going to give me the general idea first. Afterwards, you're going to listen again and make a note of the phrases used to thank someone and respond. So the second time, you're going to pay attention to the actual language being used. Okay, so you'll have a chance to listen to it twice. So I'm going to do this. You can always cheat if you want because I have the transcription. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these for you. So for the moment, I don't want you to cheat. I'm going to actually read these to you. Use your ears. Later on, if you want to double check, you can just go to slide, what is it? Slide 16 in the presentation. But for now, just use your ears and follow along. Here are 6 short conversations. Number 1. These are very short, so they're going to go quick. Number 1, person A. Thank you for having me. It was a really interesting visit. Person B. It's a pleasure. It was good to see you. Conversation number 2. Here's that document you wanted copied. Person B. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Person A. No problem. Anytime. Conversation 3. Person A. Thank you very much for lunch. It was delicious. Person B. You're welcome. I really enjoyed it. You get the hang of this so far? They're thanking you for different situations. Conversation 4 out of 6. Person A. Thanks for your time this morning. It was really good of you to come in. Person B. No problem. Thanks for your help. Conversation 5 out of 6. Person A. I'd like to thank you for inviting me here today. Person B. Thank you for coming. We're glad you could be here. And finally, conversation 6 out of 6. Person A. After you. Person B. Thanks. Person A. That's okay. Okay, those are your 6 conversations. They're very short. I'm going to put back our question on screen. Give me a second. There we go. And now I want to ask you about the situation. So the first question is, what happened in each situation? Can you identify what was going on or what the context was? Selma, what would you say about any of them? You can go in order or you can tell me randomly. By the way, let me just say a quick hello to Giacomo, who's joining us right now. Hi, Giacomo. We're just doing a listening activity right now.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll fill you in just a second. So Selma, what do you remember about maybe the first one? Where do you think it happened?
Well, actually, what I grasped was the first situation was 2 friends. Maybe they were seeing each other for maybe for a long time. They didn't see
They
each other for a long time.
they hadn't seen each
They
other.
hadn't.
Right.
Mm.
It's a past before time in the past. They hadn't seen each other for a long time. Well, can you remember why you thought that? What did I say that made you think that? If you can link it back to the actual words that were used, it'll be really helpful. Do you remember what was said?
Mhm.
Selma?
Yeah, I see you.
Do you remember what I said that gave you that idea?
You said to you.
I said, I can't hear you, Selma. I said what? I can't hear Selma. I don't know if you can. If you guys can hear her, let me know because I don't see her. Or Selma, you can also write in the chat window if you're having mic problems, but I can't hear you. Okay, let me open it up to the class. Daniel, Selma said the first situation was maybe two friends meeting. Well, it's true that they might not have seen each other for a long time, but they're not really friends. So do you have a different idea about listening one, Daniel?
No, I think it's something did a favor and the other person thanks for this favor.
All right. What about situation two?
Maybe someone cooks for another person and
Situation two? Really?
Two?
Oh, we gotta take a look at these, I think. Maybe you don't remember them in the right order. Let me also ask Anna. Let's forget about the order now. In any order, it doesn't matter. Which conversations are you sure about, Anna, from the ones you heard? You're asking about a situation. So numbers 1 and 2, it's partly right, but the context is a little different. What do you remember about any of them? 3, 4, 5, 6?
One of them, I don't remember if it's the second. Maybe it's anyone who use his car to move this person to another place. It's possible.
Let's see.
Pick his name, things like that. I don't know.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this together as a group, because maybe it's a little difficult. The listening's a little too difficult. Okay, so I'm gonna share the audio with you, the text of the audio. 1 second, and I'll share it with you. And let's read these together as a group. Okay. So, Anna and Daniel, I want you to read number 1, and then me and Giacomo are going to read number 2, and we'll just go around the room like that. Okay. So Anna, you be person A. Daniel, you be person B for number 1.
Okay. Thank you for having me. It was a really interesting visit.
It's a pleasure. It was good to see you.
Okay, and Selma said she thought it was two friends that hadn't seen each other for a long time. But I don't agree with that. Anna, Daniel, what do you think the context is here? Is it two friends meeting?
I think that when anyone says having me is because he's inviting in a, for example, in a channel broadcast or in a presentation or in anywhere, any place when this person is invited for explaining anything.
I agree. So we know the person's been invited, and as you said, it sounds like a TV broadcast or something, so it's a formal situation. In actuality, this is taken from a visit. Someone was visiting a company, so one partner or colleague or something like that is visiting someone in their office, maybe for a meeting, maybe for a presentation, but it's formal, a little bit formal. Okay, Giacomo, let's read number 2 together. You be person A, I'll be person B. Okay?
Okay. Here's the document you wanted copied.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
No problem, anytime.
Okay, this one's a little bit more clear. What's the context, Giacomo?
I'm not understanding exactly the context, but it's not really formal context. I mean, no problem. Anytime you can see that to someone, it's not really in a formal context, I feel.
Sure. It's a little bit informal. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Is
If
this
that document you wanted copied, it means something in a office situation.
exactly right? So we're in an office, just like in number one. It's kind of it's a workplace probably, and it's a little bit less formal than number one. A little less.
Yeah. Probably it's two colleagues. I think.
Exactly.
And it's talking about something, same work, he's working together, and he's just copying some document between each other or something like that.
I agree. So
Okay.
we've got levels of formality. One is more formal, two is a little less formal. Selma, let's you and I read three together. You be person A, I'll be person B. Are you ready?
Yes.
Selma, are you there?
Yes,
Thank-
teacher, I'm ready.
Okay, Selma, read three. You're person A.
Okay. Thank you for having me. It was a
Person, wait. Number
Yeah.
three? Number three?
sorry.
Okay.
Thank you very much for lunch. It was delicious.
You're welcome. I really enjoyed it. Ah, so is this formal, informal? Are they friends? Are they colleagues? Is it a boss and a worker? What's the context, do you think, Selma?
What is the casual context? There is nothing formal in here. Conversation. You can have such conversation with someone, maybe a relative or someone you know from work. So,
Okay, I agree with you that it's not formal, not too formal. But I don't think it's with a relative. It could be, but I don't think so because it's not really informal. But it is casual, but not really casual. Like if it was maybe with a relative, you wouldn't even have to, well, you wouldn't even say you're welcome. You'd be like, I don't know. What would you say if it was your mother, father, brother, husband, boyfriend? You would probably be even less, you'd probably be joking or even be sarcastic or something, right? So it's a little bit formal, slightly, tiny bit, but it's a casual situation probably at work. Anyway, and it's someone buying a meal for someone. That's the idea. So let's go back to Anna and Daniel for number 4. Daniel, you read A. Anna, you read B, please.
Thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks for your time. Repeat, your time.
Thanks for your time.
No. Not your.
Your.
Your. That's it.
Sorry. Thanks for your time this morning. It was good of you to come in.
Of you or of you?
Of you.
Of
you.
That's it. That's it. Very
Thanks
good.
for your time this morning. It was good of you to come in.
Perfect.
No problem. Thanks for your help.
Very good. So what's the context here? What do you think?
Formal, maybe.
Yeah. Two people at work having a meeting, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We agree?
Yes.
All right. Anna and Giacomo, can you read number 5? Giacomo, you're A. Anna, B. No, let's switch. Sorry. Giacomo, you're B. Anna, you're A. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'd like to thank you for inviting me here today.
Okay, I'm not reading the text. Just a moment. I can't see the text.
You can't see it on your screen?
Okay. Thank you for coming. We are glad you could be there.
There or here?
Could be here.
That's
So
right.
we're glad you could be here. Sorry, but I can't see the text on my screen.
I can try to make it a little bit bigger for you.
Okay. No, now it's too big. Okay. Now okay.
So, Anna,
Yeah.
Giacomo, same question. What's the context?
I think that anyone invited in this place to another person, and the person who invited is giving thanks for that.
Let me change one thing, Anna. Instead of saying, the first thing you said was, can you repeat the very first thing you said? You said anyone. It's not anyone. It's someone. Someone.
Thank you. Someone invited another person.
That's right.
To a place. I don't know.
And what do you think? And Giacomo, what do you think's actually going on in this case? What do you think is about to happen after the person says this? Can you picture what's going on?
No, I'm not understanding exactly the situation. I'm quite sure that the situation is the person number B is inviting person number A.
True.
And he is coming somewhere.
He or she, we don't know, but yes.
She, but probably she. And we are glad to could be there. It means we are in a public place or something official place. And
or we could be a company or an organization. If I say we, I mean Verbling, because I'm a part of Verbling. So we're glad to have you means my company, my organization. I'm speaking for the group.
Sure. Okay, I'm understanding now.
Yeah.
No, in other case, in my case, it should be I'm glad, or something like I'm glad. But if I'm reading something like we are glad you, it means my organization is glad too.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm understanding.
So the real situation here is the person is about to give a presentation. And the first thing you say when you get up to speak is you thank the person who introduced you. So imagine that it's a press conference and Barack Obama goes to the microphone and he says, I'd like to thank you, whoever is talking to. The first thing you do is you thank someone. So this is really a formal presentation. In the very last one, number 6, it's really short. After you, thanks. That's okay. What's the context here?
An elevator.
Seems like what?
Elevator.
Like an elevator, right? Or stairs or a doorway. Someone's holding open the door for you. Okay, so the point is we've got different ways of thanking people in formal and in semi-formal ways, formal and neutral ways. So let's go back to our first slide, which was, hold on, whoops, language at work. 1 second, I'll get there in a second. Okay, it says listen again. We don't need to listen again. We read it. Make notes of phrases used to thank someone. Okay, what are some phrases that you noticed? What are some phrases that people used that were formal or informal? What comes to mind?
Thank you for having me.
Good. I'm being invited. Thank you for having me. Very good. Okay. Can anyone think of another thank you phrase besides thank you for having me?
I like to say thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for inviting me. I'd like to, which means I would. It's a conditional. The conditionals are used to be more polite. A conditional I would. Okay, so those are 2 examples of expressions for thanking. Can any of you think of 1 or 2 examples of the response that person B said? How did person B respond?
Anytime.
You're welcome.
Well, you're welcome is the basic one, and that's one thing you heard. Anytime, no problem. Yeah, that was another kind of response.
Thankful.
Okay. Say again?
Thankful.
Thankful?
Yes.
They didn't actually say that. We could find a context where you could use it. No one actually said it here. Probably we would say grateful instead of thankful. I'm grateful for having been invited here, or something like that.
Mhm.
Rather than thankful, we use grateful in that context. Okay, you've got an
It's
idea.
a pleasure. Oh,
Oh, sorry,
sorry.
yeah, that's another one. It's a pleasure, or my pleasure, my
Yeah.
pleasure, right? Uh, so we often add a comment when we thank someone or respond. It asks us to turn to the audio script, the one we just read, and look for comments that the speaker made. Well, I think we've done this orally. I think we don't really need to look at it. I think you've got the general idea. What I'd like to do is actually look, I'd actually like to try this out right now. It says take turns to thank each other. So we're going to try this. We're going to thank each other, and we're going to respond in the following situations. Make sure that you choose an appropriate phrase for the situation and add a comment. Let's do one together. Giacomo, let's imagine that I bring you a cup of coffee. A nice, how do you say in Italian? Bicchiere di espresso, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And I hand it to you and I say, here you go, Giacomo. What do you say to me in English?
Thanks a lot, man.
I guess you know me pretty well. Hey, man, thanks a lot. Okay,
Hey, man, thanks a lot. Okay.
And I would say, no problem, anytime. Okay, so that's good. That's an informal situation. Giacomo, you take the next one and you ask and you thank Daniel. Read the next situation and then act it out with Daniel, okay?
Okay. Here you are.
Read it for us first, so we know the situation.
A colleague brings you a cup of coffee.
Next one.
Okay, a taxi takes you to the situation after work.
To the station after work.
Okay.
So Daniel, you're driving the taxi.
Okay, it will be 20 pounds.
20 pounds?
Okay,
wow.
Here you are. Thank you a lot. Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you a lot or thanks a lot, Giacomo?
Thanks a lot, probably.
Yeah, because a lot, it's too many words. We got to keep it short. So
Okay.
thanks a lot, not thank you a lot. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
You're welcome, sir.
You've done this before, Daniel. You're welcome, sir. Very good. Okay, Daniel.
Okay.
Read number 3 for us, and you're going to act this one out with Anna.
Okay. A friend pays for lunch. Who pays, me or Anna?
Anna's paying for lunch.
Okay.
Lunch has just ended. What do you say to Anna, your friend?
Thank you very...
Sorry.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Thank you for the invitation, Anna.
Nope. Try again. Thank you for, not the invitation, but thank you for... Got to use an ing, Daniel. Thank you for...
Paying for lunch.
Don't refer to money. Never refer to money. Focus on the invitation, Daniel. Thank you for...
Thank you for... I don't know.
What's invitation in the gerundio form, in the ing form?
For your
Inviting.
Inviting, exactly. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you for...
You're inviting.
No, your. Get rid of your. Thank you for
inviting me.
Inviting me for lunch. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for inviting me for lunch, Anna.
It was great.
It was amazing. It was delicious.
And Anna, what would you say back?
It was a pleasure to me. We can repeat when you want.
We can do it again sometime. Repeat. We can do it again sometime.
We can do it again sometime.
That's it. That's it. Very good. By the way, let's just say a quick hello to Eduardo, who's joining us right now. Hello, Eduardo. How are you?
Everyone. I'm fine.
Very good. Where are you from, Eduardo?
Brazil.
From Brazil. Very good. Well, I'm in Portugal, so if you need help, I'll translate.
Okay. No translation, please.
No translation. Eduardo, what we're doing is we're focusing on different ways to respond to basically situations at work. Some are formal, some are informal. The last thing we did in this class was work on formal presentations. So we're getting an idea of different things we can say after a presentation by looking at different levels of formality. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Eduardo? Okay, very
Yes.
good. Okay, so Anna and Eduardo, you're going to act out the next short situation. Okay? Anna, you're going to read number 4. Read it for us.
A stranger holds the door for you.
So Eduardo, you're the stranger. Okay?
Okay.
Anna, what do you say to Eduardo?
Oh, thank you very much for helping me.
And Eduardo, what would you respond?
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. What if you wanted to be even more polite? You could say you're what welcome? You're blank welcome. You're
Blank welcome.
blank, espaço, tem de preencher o
Okay.
espaço. How would you say?
Welcome.
You're?
Welcome.
Como se diz? Muito.
Muito, very.
Very welcome. Can you think
Very
of
well.
Can you think of 2 synonyms for very? So you could say you're very welcome. Can you think of another synonym that means the same thing?
For very.
Yeah. Or an expression that's similar. It doesn't have to be exactly the same.
You're very welcome. You are welcome. You're.
Class, help him out. What's something else he could say? If it's a synonym, you don't have to use the word welcome. You don't have to. Class? Do you remember 5 minutes ago? Pleasure? Pleasure?
It was a pleasure.
It's
It
my
was-
pleasure.
It was my pleasure. Right.
It was my pleasure.
Absolutely. There you go. It was my pleasure. The pleasure was mine. It's another way. The pleasure was mine.
The pleasure was mine. It was a pleasure.
That's
Good.
it. Very good. Very good. That's it. Okay, Eduardo, you're going to read the 5th one underneath stranger. Can you read that for us?
The 5th one that is on your screen.
Yeah, that's right.
Your manager supports you at a difficult meeting.
That's right. And Giacomo is your manager. So you had a rough meeting. Giacomo stood up for you. How do you thank Giacomo for standing up for you in the meeting? What would you say in a more formal way, maybe?
Giacomo, thank you very much for helping me at this meeting because I was in trouble.
And how would you respond to that, Giacomo?
No problem. We are building a really good team with you, even if in this situation it could be probably you need some help to me.
Very good. Giacomo, instead of saying situation, because that's Italian, we would say even though this time. Because
Not
we want-
understanding exactly. Could you
It's-
repeat, please?
Instead of situation, you should use the word time. Even though this time you were having some trouble.
Okay. Okay.
Because we don't like to use these Latin words in English if we can avoid them.
Okay. Okay.
It's-
Great.
Right?
Yeah, situation.
Go ahead.
Situation is also from Portuguese, situação. So
Yeah,
it's-
absolutely. Right, right.
Yeah,
Very
but
Latin.
but it's Latin way of speaking. It means it's much more better to use time instead of
Exactly.
situation in this type of time.
Yeah, that's it. So this time, as you said, in this case is another way to say it.
Okay.
This guy,
Okay.
this kid,
Right?
this time, right.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's see. Hang on a second here. You've got a little bit of practice with thanking and responding, a little bit.
Mhm.
But John, just a question.
Sure.
After I said the phrase, I thought it was not very formal as you asked.
It sounded fine. It sounded fine. It doesn't have to be. In English, we're never really formal, right? It's very rare. So
Okay.
it sounded perfectly okay. Okay, on screen, I've got some of the answers that you've already said in the past on the right side of the screen. So to help you out, you can choose from some of these. The ones you've said before are also very good, so there's no problem. But let's see if we can do maybe one more of each. So this time, let's go with Daniel. Giacomo, you're going to read the sixth one, and you're going to be responding to Daniel. You're going to be thanking
Okay.
Daniel.
Someone on a train lends you their mobile phone.
And that someone was Daniel. What would you say to him?
Okay, here you are. That's yours.
Wait a second.
Thank you very much.
Wait a second, you got it backwards.
Okay.
He gave you the mobile. You're thanking him.
Here you are, my mobile.
Okay.
Don't problem.
Thanks for your help, Daniel.
It's a pleasure.
Wait a second, he's a
Spend
stranger.
money on you.
How did you know his name was Daniel?
Yeah, sure. I know him. You are right.
Just
Yeah,
met
right.
on the train.
Okay. 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 Thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
Say nothing of it. It's another expression. One time I was in Italy. I forgot where I was, and I had to call someone. I don't remember. I had to call someone to say that the flight arrived, and I didn't know where to meet them. So I had to call some other part of Italy to say I was getting on another train. And this stranger, I don't remember where I was in Italy, just handed me his mobile phone. This was like 10 years ago when not everyone had mobile phones. Just handed it to me and said, "Oh, go ahead, use my phone." And I was like, yeah, but
Quite
you
usual
don't know.
in Italy, you know.
And I said, "You don't know where I'm calling. What if I'm calling the United States?" "Oh, don't worry about it. You call wherever you want." I was like, okay. So I called my mother.
Yeah. It happens many times at a month, you know, here in Italy. Even today, not 10 years ago. You can find someone saying, can I borrow your phone in order to call in Finland? It happens to me 10 days ago in Fiumicino Airport. Yeah, really.
And what happens if it's the other way around? You're in Finland. Do you think they'll give you their phone?
Probably she had to speak with her brother in Finland. He hadn't any credit on the credit card and on the mobile phone, and he asked to me, I'm waiting for a plane. I don't know how many hours of delay we have here in Fiumicino. Can I borrow your phone? Can I pay for a phone call to my brother in Finland? And I said, okay, it's no problem. You can take my phone free of charge, you know.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's the way.
Chivalry is alive and well in Italy.
Yeah.
What was I going to say here? Well, let's do this. I want to go back to the presentations because none of you were in that class. We've got some time here. So we know how to respond to a presentation, but let's do a little review for those of you who were not in that particular class. Give me just a second here. And I got to find the presentation here. And what I'd like to do is give you a chance to maybe not do a full presentation, but just see how it's structured. Maybe we can do we might have time to even do one short one. So I'm going to move forward here. Hang on just a second. Give me a second here. I just want to figure out where we left off. What was the last thing we did? Okay, yes. Okay. On your screen, you can see the notes. These are the notes that I gave the class last week. This class is normally at 11 o'clock in the morning, London time, or Portugal time. We're on the same GMT. So this week I'm doing it at a later time because there was some problem with the schedule. So this is actually the 7th class out of maybe 8 or 9 classes to do the unit. Last Thursday, I put these 3 note cards on the screen, and then I did a little presentation. What I'd like you to do is listen to the short presentation and see if you can work out what expressions were used to structure this presentation. This was a presentation done in a company. You can see in the first slide the presentation is to Pharmalab. That's the company that was hosting the presenter. And the presenter is Shireen. She's from a company called DScan. Well, she's from a company that makes a product called DScan. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to do a little review, and I'll give you a chance to do a short, maybe just the introduction to a presentation of your own once we figure out what the key expressions should be. So if you hang on just a second, give me just a second, and I need to go to the right. I need to go to my notes. 1 second, please. One moment. I gotta find my notes for this. Hold on. If I can't find my notes, I'll cheat, but maybe I have them here. Hold on. Okay, I can't find my notes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute because I need to actually read off of the presentation itself. So give me a second. Wow, I hope I have it in my notes too. Do I have it? Give me a second. No,
Take your time.
Yeah, no, I don't have. For some reason, I don't have the first part. Oh, so give me a second. I do have to go back to my PDF. 1 second. But I'll find it. Because what I have in your notes there is actually, oh, I see what I'm doing. I'm looking at the wrong material. That's what it is. Give me a second here. I got to open a different set of notes. I opened the teacher's notes, and I need to open the student's notes. So this is, let me go back to our slide. It's number, what is the number here? 15. So part 2, well, I want you to listen to part 1 and 2. Okay, 15. So I'm going to put this back on screen, and I've got my notes now, and I want you to use your ears. Try to work out the key expressions that were used. The structure is there for you. I know it's a little hard to see, but the structure is actually there for you on screen. You can see there's first an overview, then the advantages for your company, then a demo film, and the 4th point is taking questions. So she mentions the structure right away. So that's 1, 2, 3 on the left side. From 4 to 9 on the 4 to 10 on the right side, you have the actual presentation itself. So let's listen to the whole presentation. You might want to take some notes as I read. Okay, here we go. Shireen says, firstly, I'd like to thank you for inviting me here today. We really appreciate this opportunity to work with Pharmalab again. Well, what I'd like to do in this presentation is basically 3 things. First, I'll give you a brief overview of the product. Then, I'll talk about some of the advantages for your company. After that, I'd like to show you a short demo film so you can actually see the system in operation. After that, you can ask me any questions that you have. Does that sound okay with everyone? And everyone says, yes, that sounds okay.
Yeah.
Then she says, we like to call the system DScan. Basically, DScan is a state-of-the-art security system based on fingerprint scanning. It's the result of 2 years of intensive research and development, intensive R&D. And it has only been on the market for 3 months. However, it's already being used by 5 major organizations, and our order books are filling up fast. How does it work? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple concept. Employees are identified by their fingerprints. When they enter and leave a building or secure area, they touch a glass plate. The system scans their fingerprints and compares them with a central database that's set up by you, the client. You may be wondering what the advantages of DSCAN are compared to the existing system that you're using now. Well, let's look at what DSCAN has to offer. I would say that there are two main benefits of using DSCAN. They are, first, enhanced security and also increased flexibility. Why enhanced security? Well, the biggest potential benefit of fingerprint scanning is that no two people have the same fingerprints. Everyone is unique. This means that DSCAN is extremely secure in comparison to systems where a password or a code is needed. You can learn someone else's code, whereas you can't learn their fingerprints. You can't copy their fingerprints. Another advantage is you can't lose or forget your fingerprints. No matter where you go, they're always with you. Now, with your current system, if someone gets hold of a security code or password, they can go anywhere they like in your company. However, with DSCAN, they won't be able to do that. And another thing, at the moment, you can only tell that someone has entered a secure area, whereas in the future, you'll be able to tell exactly who that person is and where they are at all times. And there's a second benefit too. Another major advantage of DSCAN, as I mentioned, was its flexibility. Although it may sound radical, it's up to you how far-reaching you want the security to be. You have the flexibility to decide exactly which employees have access to which parts of the building. So you have complete control over who goes where. And this is another great thing about DSCAN. You can not only restrict entry to all parts of the building, but also you can restrict access to your computer system as well. So, is everything clear so far? If it is, I'd like to move on to another advantage, and after that, we'll watch a demo film. And that is our presentation. So, did you get the general idea about this product, everyone?
Yes.
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 Okay. I want to focus more on the language that was used to talk about the product. Oops, I'm going to go back here. Hang on a second. In this little exercise which we did, I want to do this as a quick review because none of you were in the class. It says make a note of the phrases that Shireen uses to A, explain the advantages, B, compare the current to future ability of the company. In other words, after they've bought the product. And second, what phrases does Shireen use to A, check that the audience is following, and B, move on to the next point? So I'd like you to do this from memory first. Okay, afterwards we can verify this because of course I have the transcript for you. And I'm sorry, Kamal, I just need to mute you because we're getting some major noise from your microphone. So you can turn your microphone on when you're ready to speak, but for now we'll have to keep it off. So let's go through those questions and see what you remember. What phrases did Shireen use? What do you remember her saying to explain the advantages of DSCAN? Can you give me an idea?
Yes, who gave the presentation said that this,
Okay.
yeah?
Her name was Shireen.
Shireen said that this product will increase the security of his business and also the flexibility in the building and also to access different places in the building and also to the computers.
Ooh, a lot of ideas at once. Too many ideas. So that's right. That's the gist. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I remember only that the DSCAN make you the advantage to know where the employees are on the building.
Gives you the advantage.
Gives you the advantage to know where the employees are on the building.
That's right. So that's the general idea. I agree with what you said, Anna, and what you said, Giacomo. I agree. But I want to focus a little bit more on the actual language that was used. If we can remember any key expressions themselves.
Yes, I took notes of some phrase she said.
Okay, good. So tell me which it corresponds to, whether it's 1A, 1B, 2A, or 2B, if you can.
1A.
Mm-hmm.
She was explaining about the enhanced security, and she used a phrase that no two people have the same fingerprint. To explain that this system would be better than, than the previous one.
Okay.
So I noticed that she used an informal way of explaining how the technology works.
I agree. Let me see if I can find the exact expression she used. Give me just a second. I'm having trouble with my PDF, so let me turn off my screen share for a second. Hang on just a second, and let's see if I can tell you the exact expression. 1 second here. Because unfortunately on my computer, everything's very slow right now. 1 second. I just have to open another PDF, and I'll do it. 1 second. We're in 4, business communication skills. What is this? Wrong document. Hold on, almost there. I keep opening the wrong document. Let me open the right one, and then I'll tell you the exact expression. Okay, so we're in number 5. Okay, 1 second, wrong page. 1 second. Got it. Okay, found it. So, I'm sorry, Eduardo. That was Eduardo, right? No, who was that?
Yes.
Eduardo. Okay. Say that again, and I'll tell you the exact expression she used. Just one more time.
She said that the fingerprint security is better because no two people have the same fingerprint, so you don't have the risk to someone copy the fingerprint from another person.
Like a password, for example.
Yes, like a person. She said something like this.
Okay. So here's the key expression that you need to keep in mind. First, I'll go back to what Anna said. The exact expression was, there are 2 main benefits of using DScan, the ones that Anna mentioned. The biggest benefit of it is blah, blah, blah. This means another benefit. So as she was talking about the advantages, she first mentioned how many benefits there were, and then she used expressions like the biggest potential benefit of DScan is flexibility and security, enhanced security, I think. This means that, I don't know if I can find the exact part in the text where she said it. I've got too many PDFs open. I can't find the exact transcription. But the key expression I'm looking for is, this means that. So she explains the detail. Another advantage is flexibility. Another major advantage is, and this is another great thing about. So her advantages were all expressed in that way. When she was comparing in 1B, she said with your current system, you only know that someone's entered, but you don't know who it is, something like that. They can go to any part of the building. Then she makes a contrast. However, with DScan, they won't be able to. Whatever she said, they won't be able to be in the area. We'll also know who they are, something like that. She also said, at the moment, right? Because if we go back to our presentation, got too many things open. 1 second. We go back to our presentation. The question was in 1B. Compare current and future ability. So she said, at the moment, that's a key expression. At the moment, you can only see that someone has entered the building. Whereas in the future, you'll be able to know exactly who it is as well. So your key expressions are for advantages. The two main benefits are the biggest potential benefit. This means, another advantage is, another great thing is. With comparing future ability, it's with your current system, you can do X, where, however, in the future, you'll be able to do Y and Z. Or, at the moment, you can only see X, whereas in the future, you'll be able to see Y and Z. The other thing I asked you about was, which phrases does Shireen use to check that the audience is following what she's saying? And which does she use to move on to another point? Did anyone take note of what she said to make sure people are following her? Maybe at the very end, of her presentation. Did anyone catch it?
I didn't.
So at the very end, she just said, "So is everything clear so far?" And then she said, "I'd like to move on to some more advantages, and then I'll show you a demo film." So to make sure everyone was following, she used the word clear rather than understand, because clear requires a yes and no. Understand can be, do you understand? There you might get people responding, and she doesn't want to know that. She just wants to know. She doesn't have time to take questions yet. So is that clear? It either is or it isn't. If it isn't, she knows what to do. Okay, now that you've got some key expressions, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to continue this class tomorrow at the same hour. I'm going to give you a set of homework exercises that will let you practice all of these key expressions we looked at. Some of them you came up with, some of them we heard in the context, okay? So I did give this homework before, but all of you were not in the class. So I'm going to give it again for you to try it out. And tomorrow, we're going to do two things. First, I'd like you to do a short presentation using the one we saw today as a model. Very short, 2 minutes, something like that. It could be about something at work, a product that you produce, something that you'd like to present, maybe pitch, something you'd like to get funding for. Doesn't really matter. But it's going to be a short presentation. You can use the same expressions to help you. Don't forget, all of the key expressions of every unit are always on the last page. So if I go back to our presentation, don't forget that you can just go to slide, what is this? Slide 13 in this case, and you'll see all of the main key expressions that we've used throughout the presentation. So you can always cheat if you want to use it in making your own. Okay, so I'll give you that homework. You try it, and we'll do that, and then we're also going to move on to talking about a little bit of grammar revision, how to talk about ability in different tenses, how to compare what you're able to do now with what you will be able to do after using the product that's being presented. So comparing future ability now, future ability to your ability now. So that's the second thing we'll do tomorrow. Okay, that's it for tomorrow. That's it for today. I'll send you the homework.
John, just a question, please.
Sure.
I logged in later, and where is this document, this presentation available? This where you showed us these keywords, this.
I'll give it to you again. If you don't see it under class material, I'll give it to you in the chat window right now. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That's the document from today. Okay, but when we end the class, I will paste the link to the document from before as well. Actually, I'll send it to you in the message service. I'll send you a message with the link, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. So tomorrow at the same time for this class, and I'll be there 1 hour before for the Great Short Stories class. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.